Hi, I'm Priyanka, and if you're planning your first solo trip, then this video is for you. After traveling for quite a bit, I got fascinated with this idea of traveling at my own pace, doing my own activities. That's the reason why solo traveling kind of caught my attention, and also it is so hard to coordinate plans and have friends come at the same timeline as you. I selected Malaysia as my first destination. I was gonna solo travel. I selected a country relatively safe so that it would be a little easier for me to figure out and something with a strong public transport as well. In typical adventurous traveling style or spontaneous traveling style, you can say, I only booked my tickets and stay and also try to figure out how I would go around, like what's the public transport like, and if I have to take cabs, what's the app for it. With this in hand, I decided that, okay, I'm ready for my trip after all, and let's go there and figure out. What are trips if not one crazy story after the other? When I landed, the first thing that happened is I realized I didn't have my travel adapter with me and I couldn't charge my phone. Luckily, I was in a mall with a lot of stores out there. That's where I planned to keep my luggage because my check in was super late. I had arrived in the early morning hours and my check in was around 3 pm. So I had to kill time somehow. I spent a good half of my morning searching for an electronics store in the mall. It was quite a huge mall, I think, with like 6, 7 floors and quite a workout after landing. But I finally did find a travel adapter, sat aside, had my breakfast, charged my phone, and then realized that okay, let's have a little bit of rest before I check in into my hotel. So once I checked in into my Airbnb, I decided to order something and was taking a nice nap. And then he calls that he's arrived. Like the delivery guy was way too early than the estimated delivery time. And okay, I decided let's go and collect my order. And the strangest thing happens. I head out of my hotel room and it's like a stream of white doors. I'm not able to see the exit to the elevator. The architecture style or the interior style is such that it's supposed to look compact and designed well, but God, I'm not able to find the door to the elevator. And I try to call the Grab guy. My brain is not working. I have this tired travel brain, and I'm telling him that I'll just pay the fine. I can't. I didn't tell him I couldn't find the elevator. I just told him it's taking me a little bit of time to come downstairs. He told me there's no option except I have to come and give him cash. He cannot cancel the order. So I call the owner of the Airbnb. I ask him directions to find the elevator, and then he directs me that there's this one specific white door with a slightly different handle at the center, and there's a button you press, and that's when the door opens. I'm like, okay, let's try that out. I tried, I got through, and finally I see the stairway to the lift. And in Malaysia, you have high-rise buildings, and I was, I think, on the 40th floor. Fun for the view, but while you're trying to get down and waiting for the lift, not so fun when the Grab guy is waiting and you made him wait a lot. Finally, I get down, I tip the Grab person handsomely and really apologize to him because I was new to the country. I explained the same to him and somehow in this fiasco, and I decided this is way too much excitement for the first day, and I called it a day. So the first day I'd landed in Kuala Lumpur and I was heading to Langkawi the next day. The moment I arrived in Langkawi, I flew from Kuala Lumpur to Langkawi. There was these heavy showers and a huge gust of wind. Signboards are falling off when I'm nearing my hostel, and I'm like, what is this cosmic sign? Have I come into some post-apocalyptic era? Anyways, it was good. The weather improved over time. It did stop raining on the next day. And I primarily came to Langkawi to do some water activities. And thankfully, the weather was good enough that I could jet ski and paraglide. One more issue I ran into on this trip was not carrying sufficient cash. Once I went to these water activities and I also wanted to take some fancy drone shots, I kind of exceeded the amount of cash that I was carrying on me. And the very kind owner of the jet ski activities, he came along with me in my scooter that I'd rented, and we went and took some cash from the ATM and wrapped up the transaction. I actually was trying to book these water activities online on Klook, but my card for some reason was not working with international transactions, and I've over time figured out, not at the moment, that I had not enabled transactions for economic sites. That's why it was not working. But hey, this trip had me thinking and thinking a lot. I think I deserved a break. I asked the person from whom I was renting the scooter whether what activities can be booked uh, in person, like if I can just go to the beach and find stalls which help you schedule the same. And she told that yes, it's possible. From the hostel that I was staying, the beach was barely 200 meters away, and I was able to book my activities, so that was quite useful. But I did end up spending more money than I would have if I had booked them online. So, note to future self, book some activities online to save a little bit of money. I had more money troubles on my second day in Langkawi as well. I had exhausted the amount of cash in my card, and the card that I had purchased, the Forex card, I had to actually pay someone, Google Pay them money in India, and then they put that cash on my card, and it takes around, I think, 2 to 3 hours for this transaction to occur. And on the second day, I started out in the afternoon. So I thought until my card gets filled, let me just grab a lunch. I wanted to visit the Langkawi Skywalk on my second day in Langkawi. So while I have my lunch, the cash was taking its own time to get credited. And then I realized that I've not filled in petrol in my scooter and I don't have enough cash to do the same. But there was some lines on it in the fuel description, so I hoped it would get me through. I mean, this is supposed to have a higher mileage. So I crossed my fingers because I got tired of waiting and I decided like it's barely 10-15 kilometers and worst case I get stranded. We'll just find some petrol bunks, seek some help from some tourists. I was just tired of waiting. So I headed to the Langkawi Skywalk. Luckily the petrol lasted me till then. I roamed around the place, explored. I wanted to buy tickets for the cable car and I was waiting for money to get transacted into my card. Until then, I decided that let me just have this fancy little rainbow ice cream. And if my money doesn't come by the time I finish eating my ice cream, I'm just gonna head home and call it a day. Luckily, it did come through. I booked my cable car tickets, I went to the highest point there and then explored Langkawi Skywalk. It was a very pretty view. The rest of the petrol also luckily took me back home safely. I didn't end up out of fuel and then I went ahead and returned my scooter. There was one bucket list activity for me that I wanted to do once. I went to Kuala Lumpur and that was having a beginner dirt bike session there. I had just researched for some motorsport activities that I could probably try, like some classes I could take because I was recently learning how to ride a bike and that kind of extrapolated into this idea of let's get into dirt bikes as well. So I was very curious and hoping I can do the same in Malaysia. But this specific center required me to do a bank transaction to pay them for the class well in advance. And I actually didn't know how to do the same. I tried to see if there were alternate options. So I figured out that if you go to these machines in local banks, you can just enter their bank account number and deposit cash into that machine and then it's going to go through. But in Langkawi, there were barely 2 of these machines and the nearest one didn't work for me. And I just didn't have enough time to do the other option. Luckily, a friend of mine told me that I can do these foreign transactions via online banking as well. I tried that method. Somehow it worked. Like it took its own time. I was pretty stressed about this whole transaction, to be honest, while I was in Langkawi. Finally, it went through. I got my session booked. Now, the only thing that had to work in my favor was that it should not rain. Otherwise, my session was going to get cancelled. I was not going to get my money back. They were willing to reschedule it at a later date when they were available, but hey, I am not a local. I have to go home. I was going to go home in just one more day. So I was like, fingers crossed. I hope it does not rain and I have a good session. And I did. I did go for my dirt biking class, which lasted for about 4 hours. And I met the most wonderful trainer. And I also had a motorsport influencer and actress who was also practicing there from Malaysia, Ahiran. It was fun meeting her. And also, I had been to Most Fun Gym. This is the center where I went to learn dirt biking. I'm going to put some videos as well. After my session, my trainer shared this fruit durian, which is local to Malaysia. They had a tree from which they took it and shared it with all of us guests and me, and I made some friends there. It was overall a very fun session in Malaysia. Now that the adventure traveling section was over, I decided I'm now going to take it easy in Malaysia and I'm going to do the simplest of activities, have some good food, see some good sights, walk along the malls and shop. So that was the last day in Malaysia. I tried to roam the streets of Kuala Lumpur, visit some malls, shop for some stuff back home, and eat some good things. And finally, that marked the end of my solo trip. It was quite an adventure, a lot of lessons learned, and solo traveling can be a bit lonely sometimes also, but you meet a lot of fun people also along the way. You have to keep an open mind and stay safe also. I am sure that I was not out late at night because I was not very sure of the safety guidelines. But overall, quite an experience, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be solo traveling quite soon again. So good luck on your solo travels too. Until next time, signing out. Thanks for watching and do subscribe as well.